Hi everybody, welcome to Canadian YEG. Today I'm going to be talking about racism in Canada. The reason I'm talking about this is recently, last month, a 14-year teenager got bullied in Edmonton in the school. But before I talk about this, I want to play this video of Justin Trudeau, which is the Prime Minister of Canada, addressing racism. Okay? Stay with me.
I rise today. Over the past few days, we've seen horrific reports of police violence against Black men and women south of the border. But these are not isolated incidents or elsewhere problems. Prejudice, discrimination, and violence is a lived reality for far too many people. It is a result of systems which far too often condone, normalize, perpetrate, and perpetuate inequality and injustice against people of color. As a country, we are not concerned bystanders simply watching what is happening next door. We are part of it. The calls for justice, for equality, for peace have found echo in our communities because anti-Black racism is happening here, everywhere in Canada, every single day. This is something that our own staff, cabinet ministers, and colleagues face even in these halls. Over the past few days, I've heard many of these personal stories directly from them. And I'm not just talking about acts of violence. I'm also talking about microaggressions, which many of us may not even see. That is the daily reality of far too many racialized Canadians, and it needs to stop. When it comes to being an ally, I have made serious mistakes in the past. Mistakes which I deeply regret and continue to learn from. And I want to thank my colleagues, community leaders, and fellow Canadians for opening my eyes to what is really going on in our communities and helping me better understand both privilege and power. I'm not perfect, but not being perfect is not a free pass to not do the right thing. It's not an excuse to not step up, to stand up for each other, to be an ally. I know that
I stop it there just because I want to say something. Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, have done a great job so far addressing racism in Canada. That was the video he made in June 2020, almost a year ago, and this is still happening in our community. We need to know, recently, I asked a white woman who has lived in Canada for over 20-something or 30 years in Canada, and she said, "Oh, I've never seen any racism around me. I've never seen any place where someone experience or undergo racism, and it hasn't happened to her as well." Let me tell you, Canadian, just like Justin Trudeau said, racism happens every day, everywhere, across Canada. The dumbest thing a Canadian who have lived in this country for over 30 years will say is that I have never seen racism. That is a big lie. In fact, that is equivalent to denying racism. Because unless you acknowledge it, just like the Prime Minister did, you will never address it. You will never see that there is a concern about it because it doesn't affect you. And I got the message she passes across to me that day. When she denies it, she's basically telling me, "Oh, you know, I'm white. It doesn't affect me, therefore I didn't see it." But let me tell you something. If any of you whites have any kind of mindset that you haven't seen racism, or it's not that you haven't seen it, it's because You didn't look at your environment. When you're going to grocery stores, you go into shopping, you go out there in your community every day for over 30 years, it has happened one way or the other. It could just be a microaggression for no reason. But because you are not paying attention to what is going on around you, you wouldn't know that that is racism. You wouldn't even be concerned because you are not looking out for it. You're not looking to stand up against it or to prevent it. Just like the Trudeau said, building a community is coming together to be an ally. A racist is only powerful if his victim is alone. Once you decide to stand against racism in any form or shape, racists don't have a place in Canada. I really acknowledge and appreciate Trudeau for standing up against racism. And he admitted himself, he said, in the past, I have made mistakes. And today, he is standing against it because he knew what he could have done better before now, before he made that video. So if any Canadian or white Canadian tell me again that they have never seen racism or they have never seen any other person experiencing racism, I think that is a total denial. You are basically denying the existence of other people in your community because either you like it or not, it happens to non-white people, mostly blacks, in any form or shape. What I'm urging Canadians is as you go out there every day, pay detailed attention to your environment because it might be safe for you, but it also have to save for every other people that doesn't look like you. It is our duty as Canadians to work together as allies and stand against racism. We can't say it doesn't exist. We can't say I haven't seen it. That is a sense of denial. In fact, look around you at your place of work. I am telling you, and it happens everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna play the video and I'm gonna see what it has to say more.
That for so many people listening right now, the last thing you want to hear is another speech on racism from a white politician. I'm not here today to describe a reality I do not know or speak to a pain I have not felt. I'm here because I want you to know that our government is listening. We hear your calls for justice, equality, and accountability. We acknowledge your frustration, your anger, your heartbreak. We see you. Depuis notre arrivée au pouvoir,
So, it says the last thing you might want to hear is hearing a white politician talking about racism. I'll tell you this, racism happens to everybody, either white or black. I am telling you, a white person could experience racism if he find himself in the group of other ethnicity, just like in group of blacks or in group of non-white environment. It could be. So everybody, either white, black, brown, whatever shade of color that you existed or that you are existing, you have the right to address, stand up against racism in your community. If you see a racist victimizing a stranger or a bypasser, you have the right to stand up against it, speak against it. You don't have to know the victim. You just have to be your community. I urge Canadians to hone their community, the community where you live, where you work. Hone it. Honing it means that when something goes wrong, step up to it. It doesn't have to go wrong to you. It just have to go wrong around you, and then you have the right to stand up against it. That is all Justin Trudeau have said. I really appreciate his perspective and the way he addresses racism. Now, we will go to the video. Please, this is a big graphic, so if you don't like, if you cannot watch something big graphic, please, you're free to go. But I'm just gonna show the video of the guy being bullied now, okay?
To us a week after a racist attack left him bloodied and bruised and with a concussion. The memory of his night in hospital still hazy, the vicious attack still haunting.
That made me afraid to wear my own skin.
A group of students chased and tackled him to the ground. The boys called him the N-word and made monkey sounds at him, Pazzo says.
I could not remember the day. I couldn't remember that much, and
that's sad. A 14-year-old black teenager got bullied by some bunch of white foolish kids. That's sad. I think we as Canadian, we as Albertan, we as Edmontonian, we can do better. It is the responsibility of every parent. Again, the responsibility of every parent, either white, black, or any shade of color, to input the right morals into your kids as they go out into community, to school, to meet other people that is different from them. No one is better than anyone out there. Teach them, let them know that difference doesn't mean anything. Difference means we are still human. We are just color difference. That's it. It doesn't add anything to you. Especially you white folks, please let your children know that there is nothing wrong to be black. No child should be that traumatized, just like this 14-year-old teenager. Please and please, we can do better. Okay? Thank you so much. This will be the end of the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Leave your comment. Let me know what you think. Okay? Like and share. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.